Okay. Dan Dibley is standing by. We want to go out to Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises, celebrating their 60th anniversary. That's where we find the star of Willard and Dibbs. Prime time. Dibley standing by on a rooftop, apparently in Fremont, California. Dibbs, welcome to the show. What's up, man?
Oh, what's up, guys? Double D, Dan Devone, Evan Giddings. I am so honored to be a part of your show. You guys are killing it, by the way. I was listening to the show on my way down here. I'm at the Fremont Bank headquarters, which is a brand new building at Capitol and Fremont here in downtown Fremont. And by the way, I am on the roof of this building, and it happens to be the tallest building in the city of Fremont. And if I look to my north, slightly to the west, I think I can see the beautiful head of hair that sits atop of Dan Devone.
Well, what's the second tallest building in Fremont? 7-Eleven?
Boy, it's funny you say that, because I went by about 4 7-Elevens, none of which is more than one story. But what they're doing down here in Fremont, which, as you well know, Dan, is the fourth most populous city in the Bay Area, down near 250,000 people now. They're developing an entire downtown corridor on Capitol Avenue. And so the Fremont Bank headquarters, 6 stories tall, is going to be really the anchor building on what's going to be, over the next 5 to 10 years, a completely revamped downtown Fremont.
Well, that is awesome, Dibbs, and I'm sure they really appreciate you not only vocalizing, but also, being there, drawing a lot of eyes to one of our very valuable partners here at 95.7 The Game. But one other thing, of course, we want to run by you is what we've been discussing today, and you said you heard a little bit of the conversation, so I want to bring you into it because I feel like you are more appropriate than any to speak on Klay Thompson and his unfollowing of the Warriors, because the news literally broke on your show yesterday. So, kind of what was your first reaction? And now that you've had a chance to sleep on it, do you feel any different about it? Is it all about nothing or much to do about nothing? Where do you fall on Klay doing this, unfollowing the Warriors?
Well, it's 2 pieces, Evan. The first piece is kind of the old school me, which is like, how can this be news? This is so stupid that somebody making an unfollow and scrubbing an account, like, that can't be a thing. And then I realize in this modern day and age, what you kids do, Evan, you young whippersnappers, this is exactly what you do when you want to communicate. So it's actually a huge thing, and it plays right along with what I've been saying for the better part of 2 or 3 months. I do think that Klay is leaving. I've long thought Klay was leaving. They reportedly offered him 2 years and $48 million back in November. He said no to that. And honestly, guys, I don't think that the offer that they would give him now is going to be any bigger or any longer than what they already did. And I think Klay wants more years. I think he'll get more years. I think he'll get more money. He'll have a chance to play a bigger role in a different team. And so I think this, here in the middle of June, still 2 weeks away from free agency beginning, I think this is the sign that he's decided that the deal that he would want from the Warriors is not going to happen. So, yeah, I think it's a big deal, and I think this signals what's going to happen here in 16 days. He's gone.
Dibbs, is that a good or a bad thing for the Golden State Warriors to move forward without Klay Thompson?
It's only good if they can make a big swing and bring in a player who can help them become more relevant than they were this past year. Because, Dan, I was saying this on the show yesterday, if you just bring everybody back from last year, without Chris Paul, he's going to be gone, you were a 10 seed. And miss me with that narrative that they were 3 wins away from being a 6 seed. Fine, that might be true, but you're not as good as Denver. Dallas is better than you. Oklahoma City's younger and faster. Minnesota's too tall. So what are we even talking about here? If Klay Thompson leaves, and I think he's going to, you had better do something to replace him. And if that means using Kuminga in a trade, so be it. You got 2 more years of Steph. I don't think that you can be a championship team anyway, but you got to do something to try to replace the good outside shooting that Klay Thompson brings, if nothing else.
It is interesting, Dibbs, because, look, I mean, I feel like the move is one that is both strategic as well as immature. And I think it's funny that a 34 going on 35-year-old is the one kind of scrubbing his social media. I don't know if it's, a technological cleanse, a millennial form of meditation. I don't know what it is, but it does feel strange that someone, say, like Jonathan Kuminga, who is in the prototypical position where someone both his age and in his situation due up for his extension eligible this summer, he would be the one, if we're taking the likes of, the Ayuks, the Debos, the guys that are getting their first bag typically use scrubbing social media as a negotiation tactic. Kuminga would profile as the guy to do that, and yet he has not, number one, done that, but number two, hasn't really made much of a peep or a stink about anything regarding his future with Golden State. So, whether it's a trade or not, I just find it fascinating that Klay Thompson's the one that's doing this when there literally is a kid who's 21 years old that profiles as the kind of guy that would.
Yeah, and you're right about that. And I think if Kuminga did it, it would be more of a tactic. But this, to me, is more of a tantrum. And, I've got a 21-month-old, and she likes to watch Coco Melon. And when you turn off Coco Melon, she throws herself on the floor, and she has a tantrum, and then it's over. So if you're a 34-year-old shooting guard and you realize that things aren't really going your way as far as a Warriors contract extension, you don't have any other real way to communicate your frustration other than going to social media and going the scrub route. So I do think that this is more tantrum than tactic because, honestly, there is no tactic for Klay to make. If the Warriors are telling Klay, look, we're going to wait until well into free agency to make a decision on you, and Klay wants to be prioritized, well, then there's nothing Klay can do right now. He has to wait until July 1st to sign a deal elsewhere. And if the Warriors wanted to extend him, they would have had that opportunity to do it back in December, January, February, etc. So right now, Klay's got no other way to express himself other than through this passive-aggressive move.
Dibs, so Ev follows the girls that he's dating. My man, Jersey Ken, follows his wife. My whole point to the kids is, listen, once you're together, there's no reason to follow each other. You know what the hell you had for lunch or what you're wearing that particular day. They push back at me. I'm saying that once you're together, there's no need to follow one another. So then when you unfollow somebody, it doesn't become this big event.
Well, if you've been around as long as Fremont Bank has, then yes. But I don't know. Talk to him, Dibs.
What are you doing? Do you follow your wife, Dibs?
I do follow my wife, which is hilarious, and she follows me as well. But funny you put it that way because virtually everything she does, I'm either a part of or I'm aware of it. But it comes down more, Dan, to just general clout and respect. Like, I follow Mark Willard, and I follow Bonte and Joe and Steiny and Guru, and these are people that I spend more time with, really, than my own family, yet I follow them. And so it's not so much about being in the know with people you're surrounded by. It's about clout and respect. I will say this, though. Of all those people I mentioned that I follow, most of them are muted.
Well done. All right, Div. So wait, just fill me in here. Is this like the meatpacking district in New York? Is this a roof deck party? Is there an open bar? What are we doing on the roof here?
I'm sitting next to bankers and Supervisor David Halbert, who is a supervisor in this county. The mayor of Fremont is here. There's champagne. And I look down on the street, guys, and there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of people out here. You've got food trucks. You've got free drinks and drink tickets. There's a raffle with 60 prizes. All you have to do is come on down Fremont Boulevard and Capitol Avenue. You get registered. You get a wristband. You get drink tickets. Chewy Gomez from 102 Jams is out here spinning music on the ones and twos. It's an absolute street party. It's a fiesta. And your boy is about 90 seconds away from tipping a couple back and getting into real Dibberclaws mode. If you're in Fremont, come on out. I've already met a handful of listeners. Ain't no party like a bank party, guys. Capitol Avenue and Fremont Boulevard will be here till 2. Tell them Dibberclaws sent you.
Well, while we have you for another 90 or maybe at this point 60 seconds, I do want to broach the subject of banking with you because I think there's a quarterback in the South Bay that might be in need of Fremont Bank considering the payday that is going to be coming his way next summer. I'm talking about Brock Purdy. I know you guys discussed the impact that Trevor Lawrence's $275 million contract yesterday has on Brock Purdy, but what was your immediate, like your first thought in regards to Brock Purdy when you saw the golden child, Trevor Lawrence, get his bag?
Well, I thought that he's going to get a bag that's equally that big, if not bigger, depending on what kind of a year he has. And guys, do yourself a favor and look at Trevor Lawrence's year last year, which I believe was about 4,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 14 picks, and a 9-8 record. If Brock Purdy has that year, which would be a regression, and it would be a major disappointment for a Super Bowl favorite, he still is getting $50 million a year.
Dan Dibley, Dibs, once again, give him the address, and just before you sign off, just tell people where you're at and how they can find you.
It's a Fremont Bank headquarters grand opening, tallest building in Fremont, gorgeous construction, food trucks, beer, cocktails, beer, games. Did I mention beer? Fremont Boulevard and Capitol Avenue. People are streaming in to hear Chewy Gomez, DJ, Dan Dibley, Half in the Bag. Come on out and enjoy the gorgeousness that is the Fremont Bank headquarters. It's a grand opening, folks. Come on out. Fremont Boulevard and Capitol Avenue. Get here soon. Get here often. It's the Fremont Bank grand opening.
Dan Dibley, ladies and gentlemen, from Fremont Bank. Thanks, Dibs. We'll see and hear you on Monday.
My man.
All right, guys. Double D, Evan. See you.